All right, man. I didn't know this case was still open. I just thought that Mac Miller had just overdosed on drugs, but they having a suspect, or they've charged a man for his death for lacing some Percocets with fentanyl. Okay, and obviously, I would guess that they are saying Mac Miller didn't know that his drugs was being laced, as 99.9% of people who get laced with drugs don't know. But we back. Goodfellas Sports TV. I like an article from TMZ in the description. And I listened to his music early 2010s, and pretty much he kind of like just tapered off, man. But they said that Mac Miller was supplied with deadly fentanyl-laced pills that was directly contributed to his death, according to federal prosecutors who just filed charges against his alleged dealer. It's all alleged. And his name is 28-year-old Cameron James Petty, who feds alleged supplied the rapper with counterfeit oxycodone pills that contain fentanyl in a new 42-page criminal complaint in California. And, and other things happened as well, too. And it says, according to the docs, authorities served a search warrant at multiple locations while investigating Mac's death. They say 2 days before his death, which is September 7th, coming up on the year anniversary, Mac received 2 deliveries of drugs, one from Petty, who allegedly supplied the fentanyl-laced oxy pills, cocaine and Xanax, and another from a prostitute who allegedly gave him pure oxy, a hydrocodone, and some other shit, Xanax. So he got 2 large drug deliveries, and the prostitute was the guy she was working with was an associate of Petty, so they both knew, and pretty much it just, if they didn't do deep police work, they could have just said he overdosed on drugs and kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? They continued to dig on this case, and I don't know if because he was a rapper, or the autopsy came back that he was laced with some fentanyl or whatever, and that's what sparked it. But I think it was the autopsy that came back that probably that raised some concerns that he was being drugged. But it goes on to say the prostitute worked for Madam, whom is allegedly associated with Petty. They claim that Petty had not immediately responded to Mac for a second delivery. He hit Madam up, who sent the prostitute to leave him additional drugs. He said there's more. Prosecutors allege that Petty directly messaged about Mac's death shortly after on Instagram, allegedly telling friends that he probably shouldn't post anything as a reaction just to be smart. Prosecutors said he later wrote, "I'm not great. Most likely I would die in jail," when someone asks how he is doing. So he basically, to them, he admitted to guilt of what he done. Now, I don't know what's this angle, and it'll come out about why he wanted to lace Mac Miller drugs. Maybe he owed him some money, but usually when somebody owe you money for drugs, you're not delivering more drugs. Or maybe he fronted him the drugs, like, you know what, I got you, I'm going to pay you when I get some more money, because he had just finished the album or dropped one around then. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know what was the thing. And when I seen it, he was like, Mac Miller's alleged drug dealer in jail for supplying drugs. I'm like, man, now they getting the drug dealer because, charging him because they OD, but allegedly, and he incriminated himself on IG, which a lot of these social media has gave him a platform, not just djvlad TV, but social media too. These dudes love snitching on themselves. If they gonna snitch on themselves, right, what makes you think they not gonna snitch on you? That's just a food for thought for a lot of people out there. But yeah, you gonna rot in jail. You deserve to rot in jail. You laced his drugs. Now, at the end of the day, just looking on the outside, inside, they could have been like, you know what? He had all these drugs. He just OD. But that autopsy probably came back and say he had something a little bit more than he asked for. But he was dealing with depression. I think he had just broke up with Ariana Grande, whatever her name is. And I just know her. She was on a TV show the kids watch, R. Carly or whatever. But it's unfortunate, man. But you can't trust nobody. You can't trust people with making your food. You can't trust them with petty little marijuana. You can't trust nobody. But obviously he was dealing with shit, and he had songs talking about, doing drugs. I got codeine in my Sprite, and all the songs he had, he was always rapping about drugs. And then when you getting depressed, and he really was depressed over losing that girl, love and heartbreak is, is definitely the gateway to finding being a drunk or being an alcoholic or finding a drug to use and abuse. But, I was dumbfounded that this case was still open. I just thought he OD'd, and that's what it is. And obviously, he didn't OD, he laced his drugs, and why would he even do that? I'm interested to see if he unveils why he laced his drug. Was it over money? Was it over women? Then when two dudes get to arguing and stuff, it's either over money and women. If you ever notice it, over a woman. Well, I loved her. You wasn't even with her, bro. I told you I loved her first. So it's either over money or women or some type of jealousy type thing going on. But hopefully his family, his friends, and his closest ones, they can find closure when this trial is done, and they can have a reason why, and they can move on with their life. Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video quest. Keep sharing the videos. One time for the one time. We gone.